Should I purchase my tires online? How's it going, guys? In today's video I'm going to be speaking on the topic of purchasing tires online. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and I'll give you some pros and cons to purchasing your tires that way. First of all, the pros are pretty much compressed to two things that I can really think of. It's going to be the price. You have found a tire that is considerably cheaper than what it would be in your local store or in the stores that are close to you. And the second thing would be selection. You can't get the tire that you want in around the area that you are in, so you've decided to buy online. Now, when checking the price online, make sure that you allow for the fitting, the balancing and disposal of the tire. If you have a store in mind that you're going to get them fitted in, ask for a price in total for that, and then add that on to the costing of the tire online. Sometimes people get confused. They see the tire online and they kind of forget completely about the balancing and fitting. So when you are looking online, just make sure you weigh up that and add it on. Regarding the cons to buying tires online, I think the biggest one, first of all, will probably be the comeback. You have a limited amount of comeback in a lot of places where you buy online. What I mean by comeback is you can't just go into a store, tell them you have a problem, and they can solve it on the day. If you have difficulties and that online store isn't directly associated with a fitment company, then you're in trouble. So if you have bought them tires online, they get shipped to you, you decide on the store that you buy them from, get them fitted, you have a problem, it's your problem. The people that supplied the tires to you are the people that hold the warranty on them tires. If you buy the tires from the store, then the warranty is with the store, so you go directly back into them and they deal with, let's say, Bridgestone or Kumo or whoever the difficulty is with, and they will help you get through that problem pretty much as easy and as simple as possible. Simple things like you can't visibly see the tires, so a lot of customers like to come in, check the tire and go, okay, I like that thread pattern, I like the look of it, I'll go with that one, and they're physically able to have a feel of the tire, have a look at the tire. You can't do that online. That is an image only setup, which to some people it doesn't matter at all, to some people it does. That's just one drawback. If you do decide to buy online, I would highly recommend checking reviews in depth of the tire that you buy beforehand. Now, if it's a budget range, you'll probably find that there is limited reviews on it. The more known ones tend to have more reviews based on them. But what I would say, and it's a con as well, is if you have a trusted seller, a trusted retailer or business that you go to, they should be able to give you genuine feedback on tires that they sell. So mileages, what you should expect grip wise, etc. out of those. Online, if there is no reviews, you're in a bit of a spot, because if you're buying a budget, there's no reviews, you're taking the gamble without really finding out any feedback on it. I would highly advise buying, be it online or be it in store, with a good bit of feedback on that particular tire. You don't want to be the one that is testing the tire. If it's a new budget range out there, if it's a new brand, the feedback will be coming from you, and if it's a terrible tire, you're too late, you've already bought it. So I would take that into consideration highly before purchase. Lastly, on the con side, isn't something that's thought of too much, but working in Oz in a tire company for a number of years, it was something that we were speaking to the main retailers for, the main brands. So Bridgestone, I'll just use them as an example. So copy, replicas or parallel imports. This is when you're buying something, you're thinking it's a product, but it's actually not. It's just a replica. Just like an iPhone has a replica, or Beats by Dre has a replica. Tire market also has replicas out there. In Oz, like I said, they call them parallel imports, but there were tires that were purchased online. They weren't trusted and they weren't distributed by Bridgestone, and they were found to be of a less compound and basically you're buying a tire that's pretty much a budget, paying more for it, and you're thinking you're going to get a very good value for that. I would say it's rare enough. If you're buying budget range online, it won't matter as much, in my opinion. But if you're buying the well-known brands like the expensive tires, the high-end Bridgestones, the high-end Pirellis, there could potentially be an issue there, depending on the websites and so on, with a replica tire. So just bear that in mind when you're buying it. So onto my own personal view. Am I bothered by a customer coming in supplying their own tires? Absolutely not. From my own standpoint, I make very, very little margin on tires. Selling the tires or fitting the tires is pretty much the same amount I make either way, except if as labor only, the job is done, I never have to think about it ever again. Whereas with tires, for the life of that tire, to a certain degree, you are tied in with that tire. From a business standpoint, from a company standpoint, why do they want you to make sure that you're buying the tires, or why do they not want you coming in with your own tires? Reason being, some big tire companies offer rebates, meaning you get money back off that tire company if you sell a certain amount of units. So a big company could have a target of let's say 10,000 tires. If they hit that 10,000 tires, they will get money back on it. Or it could be a figure, it could be if they hit €1 million or $1 million in sales on that model of tire, then they'll get a rebate back on that. And the rebates can be quite strong. So for bigger companies, definitely not smaller garages or independent garages, that is something that companies think about. They just want to be selling the tires with the potential to get money back off that company. Another thing on that is the actual figures. So the turnover and sales figures for a particular business will be driven up by tire sales. So if you're solely focused on high turnover and sales figures on a monthly or a quarterly or a yearly basis, then you will want to be selling the tires because it drives that up. If you're only focused on the bottom line and the profit side of it, you're not going to be too worried about the actual turnover as much. But it is applicable to business models and to, let's say, if you wanted to get loans, etc., having a high turnover is a good thing and things that people want to see. So that's just another reason why they don't want to see you coming in with your tires on their own. And lastly, it can be to do with quality control. If you have a workshop that is very strict on the products they sell and the work that they do, they can turn away that altogether. They don't want to risk fitting a tire in case it has issues, in case there's, let's say it got delaminated or it blew up on the side of the road where it blew out. They don't want to be tied into that whatsoever. They don't want to risk it. If it was manufactured of a poor standard and they can't stand by the product because they don't know where it came from, then they can opt out to it. They say, I'm not taking the risk on that. I don't want to fit that tire, and that's it. But really, if you are fitting tires supplied by a customer, the onus is on them. They have just asked you to fit the tire. You can't be doing quality control on the tire. You're not going to be able to tell what the compound is made up of, how well it's manufactured. It's impossible. So really, if the customer is supplying the tire, the onus is on them. Should anything happen to the tire, in regards to anything, if you were to have an accident based on grip, or if it was to blow out and it wasn't a fitment problem, well then it's not the garage's fault. So that's pretty much it, guys. If you are thinking about purchasing tires online, just weigh up them options. If it is a trusted website, if you're getting a fantastic price, if it is working out where you have a store that's willing to fit them and the overall price is good, well then why not? It's an option there for you. But I would weigh up all of them options and also think about the rotation of the tires. Some garages do free rotations on tires they supply, even free balancing on tires they supply. You won't have that if you buy your own tires. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Share it if you can, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.